I thought it was about time that I looked at the fantastic work of Carol Kaye. Now, apparently she's the most recorded bass player ever. She's on so many hits. And because of her extensive CV, it's really hard to pick a bass line to make a lesson of. So I've picked one of my favourites, which is from Sloop John B by the Beach Boys. Now, this is an old folk song that the Beach Boys rearranged and made into a massive hit. I've made a full transcription of Carol Kaye's exact bass line from Sloop John B, and I've put that on a PDF. You can get that for free. That's in standard notation and tab, and you can pick that up by clicking the link below this video in the description. So just join the mailing list and I'll send you your free copy of this transcription. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube if you want to learn more iconic bass lines and you just want to learn to be a better bass player in general. Carol Kaye played a P bass for most of the recordings. She played some other basses, but that was her kind of go-to bass. It had flat-wound strings on it, and it had a piece of felt by the bridge, lightly resting on top of the strings. A lot of people now put felt underneath or foam. It just kind of helps eradicate extraneous sounds. And she also used a pick all the time. So if you want to get close to her sound, that's kind of the setup that you need. Now, I've done a separate playthrough video where I played the original track, and I've used this bass for that. This is my trusty P bass with flat wounds on it, and I've put a little bit of foam under the strings. That's a kind of similar kind of effect to what Carol Kaye used. And I'll play that with a pick, actually. So kind of get that sound. But I'm going to do this lesson on my other P bass with round wounds, just with fingerstyle, because I've detuned this. I'll talk about that in a minute, to play with the original track. But I'm going to use my other bass. So you can just choose whether you want to use a pick or fingerstyle. It doesn't really matter. It's entirely up to you. So Carol Kaye detuned for the original version of Sloop John B, a half step down, because we've got some low E flats there. So she actually played it in A major, but it kind of sounds in A flat major, okay? So for the purposes of this lesson, you don't need to detune. I'm playing it on my normal bass, E, A, D, G. But if you want to then play with the original track with what we've learnt today, then make sure that you detune your bass. So all the strings need to detune a half step to E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. I've also put a 5-string version in the PDF booklet because it's got the low E flats. So I've written that in A flat major, so you can just play that on your 5-string without detuning, okay? And that will work with the original track. So make sure that you choose the right one from the booklet. So if you've got a 4-string and you want to play with the original track, detune, use that version in A major. And if you've got a 5-string, use the version in A flat major, and you don't need to detune. I'm going to start with the chord progression of Sloop John B. Now the progression changes slightly from verse to verse, but this is the main progression. So we've got 6 bars of A, 2 bars of E, 2 bars of A, a bar of D, a bar of B minor, a bar of A, and then we've got half a bar of E7 over B and half a bar of E7. So at the beginning of that bar, you're going to play basically a B in the bass. That's a slash chord. So when you have a slash chord, you always play the second letter. And then we've got A for 2 bars. Now sometimes the number of A chords at the beginning of the verses change. So you kind of drop maybe a couple of bars of A and then put E instead, for example. And verse 3 is slightly different at the end, but that's all down on the PDF, okay? The choruses also follow this verse chord progression. Okay, so it's kind of the main progression, just round and round with slight changes. This is the main riff of the bass line. Okay, now there's a few options, a few different ways to play that. I like using the fretted A of the 5th fret of the E string because I've got more control over muting notes, but you may want to play it like this, which is option 1 with open strings. So open A, E, F sharp, open A, B. But you have to be muting with your right hand. It's just more tricky to mute. Okay, option 2 is using the A here at the beginning and then open A and B. Okay. open A, B, or you can do what I do, it's just fret the A both times at the 5th fret. This is option 3. Okay, so it's entirely up to you. It's a bit more stretching if you do option 3 like me. But I find that you've got just a bit more control, as I said, over the muting. So I've put that on the tab, but just use what you want to use. We basically move that riff around. So on E, for example, we've got it here. Okay. So we've got E, B, C sharp, E, F sharp. Okay. Try that with me. 3, 4. And then we've got it on B, so it's a B minor chord, but it's the same pattern like this. Try that with me. So 2nd fret of the A string, 1st finger on B, 3, 4. Try the A, little finger. Well, actually play it how you want to. Okay, 3, 4. When the pattern moves to D, it's slightly different on the last note. And this is the pattern. Drops down to C sharp. But I actually use the open A in this case because it's quite a fast note. And then you're in the right position for B minor. Okay. So it's D, open A, B, D, C sharp. Okay. So it's an 8th note. Open notes, they're kind of easier to play because you don't have to worry about the muting. Okay, try that with me. So you get little finger on D, the 5th fret of the A string. 3, 4. Okay, so that's a few of the different positions with the riff. But the riff also changes slightly. So sometimes the A riff, we've got leading up to D, there's a C sharp in there. But as I said, that's all on the PDF, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. If you're enjoying this lesson, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can do that by clicking the red subscribe button at the corner of the screen, and make sure that you also click the notification bell and choose your options there. I'd click all, and then you'll get notified of all my new lessons as soon as they come out. I'm going to leave verse 1 for the time being. I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to do the chorus first because then that's kind of similar to the rest of the bass line. So we've got this riff first on A that I showed you. We've got that 5 times, and then the last time on A, the 6th time. Okay, we've got that C sharp there. Okay, and then the pattern on E. And then C sharp. So like I said, the riff slightly changes each time you're coming up to a chord change. So we're going to try the first 8 bars. So it's 6 bars of A, an extra bar of A where it changes to C sharp, and then E, and then E again, and C sharp. Okay, so let's try it with me. So I'll try it a little bit slower. I'll give you 3, 4 in. 3, 4. Third time. 5th time. And then change to E. Okay, and then we carry on. We've got A again. Changes there, and then D, that bar I showed you. And then B minor. Okay, so those 2 I showed you before, and then back to A. Dropping down there. And then B. Okay, so that bar there, B. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so that's E7 over B, and then E7, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and then A. And then the same again. Okay, so let's play the second half of the chorus. So we go from those A, so A. with the C sharp, and then D, B minor, and then A, that B bar, A. Okay, so this is the second half of the chorus. Again, a bit slower. 3, 4. Okay, so let's try the whole chorus. I'll do it a little bit faster, okay? So get ready on A, 3, 4. It's a really nice bass line, just keeps moving. It's kind of the same idea, but it's got nice little variations in it. Now I showed you that because verse 2 and the next chorus are exactly the same thing, okay? On the next chorus you've got 4 bars rest, so you don't play the third line, but it's the same thing, okay? So it's quite a repetitive bass line in a good way. So once you've learnt that first chorus, you can play chorus, verse 2 and the next chorus. We're now going to go back to verse 1. So first of all, we've got an intro for a couple of bars, and then we've got 4 bars rest at the beginning of verse 1. There are actually only 4 bars of A here, and then we've got 4 bars of E, so it changes slightly the progression. So I'll play that to you. I'll play the first 4 bars of where bass comes in. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's quite different there. We come in on the E. Okay, so we've got that pattern there. Quite syncopated, which means it's off the beat. So we're on beat 1, 1, 2, and 3, and. Okay, so we play beat 1, 2, and 3, and. So we're playing on 2 and 3 and. Okay. And that's the E on the next bar. So we've got E, B, E, F sharp, A, E. Okay, try that for me. Do it slowly. And we've got to slide down to it from the A. So it's like this: 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, try that. 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, and again. 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, and then on the next bar, E. So that's 1, 2, 3 and with C sharp, B, A. Okay. And they're similar, those 2 bars, to what you're doing for the rest of it on the E. Okay, so I'll play that line again from the slide. 3 and. Okay, try that with me slowly. 3 and 1. Okay, and then when we get into the next bit, it's very, very similar. It's actually exactly the same as what you learned for the chorus for the next 2 lines. So for the kind of last lines 3 and 4 of the chorus, exactly the same. Okay, so what I suggest you do is to learn the chorus, and then look at verse 1. And really, that's one of the most tricky lines in the whole bass line. That kind of first 4 bars of bass coming in at the top of the piece. It's quite a nice kind of melodic line in a way. So then look at that line. Make sure you take that apart and learn that slowly. The other tricky part really is at the beginning of verse 3. Okay, it's in A again, but we kind of slide up to a kind of E. All right. Or what I'll do is I'll play the first 4 bars of that. Okay, 3. Okay, so lots of sliding around. It's quite different there. We slide up to the E. So we're on B from the end of the chorus before. 1, 2, 3. I'll use my first finger. You can use your little finger if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. 1, 2, 3. So that's 1, 2, and. Okay, and then we've got. Okay, so B, A, E, F sharp, sliding up to B, and then E. Okay, so bar 3, we push into that bar, which means we play on 4 and, like this. Okay. So B, A, E, F sharp, slide to B, and then E. So those last 4 notes. So we're kind of doing those notes without the slide, but with the slide. Okay, and then the next bar, same pattern again, E, 1, 2, and then same thing, but we're just going to A this time in the last 2 notes. So I'll play you bars 3 and 4 of verse 3. Okay, so let's try the first 2 bars of verse 3. Okay, slower, 3, 4. Again, 3, 4. Okay, and then the next 2 bars with me, 3, 4. Okay, so let's try that first line, and we're going to slide up to the E from the B from the bar before. Okay, 3, 4, and we're going to do the slide on 4 like that. 3, 4 to E. Okay, try it with me. 3, 4. And then I'll carry on. Okay, so that's a tricky couple of bars as well, and after that it kind of goes into the regular bass line. So that is okay. You can use it. I'll use my little finger. I can slide back with that and to E, but you can use probably easier and better to use 3rd finger. Okay, so from the bar before the end of the first line. So it's basically 1, 2. They make a massive difference, these slides in the bass line. Again, it's just use of articulation that makes the bass line more musical and gives it a bit more style. Okay, try that from A, just play the A. So, and 1, 2 to E. Okay, 3, 4. Then it's E, the same riff. Okay, and then we're into this kind of brass bandy tubery bit. I think there's some brass on the original track, maybe a tuba behind the bass line, or that's just the sound that Carol Kaye's getting. It's fantastic. So it's just these kind of short A's. So just root notes there, apart from this slide. Okay, so A, B. Okay, so we've just got 2 bars of A, the little slide, a bar of D, a bar of B, B minor, and then A. So try it with me. And then what I do is I just play that with my first finger, the A, and then I just slide with little finger like that, okay? So get ready on A, 3, 4. Now there are many ways to get those really short clipped notes. I use a bit of muting with my right hand. I kind of actually use my third finger sometimes to kind of rest my, so I'm kind of, after I play the note, I'm putting my kind of second and third finger down like lightly on the string. But also look at my right hand, kind of muting the string. So I'm trying to get this real kind of crisp note there. So it takes a bit of practice, and there are a few techniques of how you want to mute it. Some people mute with their kind of the rest of their fingers on their hand. Okay, but whatever you do, just trying to get nice short notes there. It really makes an impact. And then the notes go double speed. We've got eighth notes. Really nice there. Sliding from C sharp to E, back to B. Okay. And then we're into that kind of final chorus. And then in the final chorus, it's the same pattern, but we just lose one note. Okay. Okay, when you're sliding down, I pluck the note, and then also pluck the note you're leading to as you land on it. Pluck, pluck. Okay, and they're quite fast, those bits. That's the second time. The first time. Okay, and then the tune kind of fades out, so you've got kind of, you've got A's, and then the tune goes to kind of E and back to A, but it's kind of almost faded out by then. Well, that's the main part of the bass line explained. I hope that's helped. Remember, it's all down on the PDF, so grab your copy if you haven't got that already. And then I suggest you just work through that in the different sections and really look at the kind of subtleties that Carol Kaye does. And remember to detune if you want to use this part and play with the original track. Detune everything a half step, or if you're using the 5-string version, you don't need to detune. I'd love to know what you thought of this bass line and this lesson, and if you've got any of your favourite Carol Kaye bass lines, let me know in the comments. Just leave me a comment below the video. I check all those, and it's great to kind of hear how you're getting on and if you've got any favourite tracks as well. It also helps me out if you like this video and share the link with everyone. You can just put share video, share it on socials, anyone you might think would like and enjoy this bass line. So that really helps me out, so feel free to do that. And if you want more bass resources, I've got courses and books and loads more on my website. That's gbshed.com, so go along to that and check it out. I've also got loads of useful links below in the description, so have a look there too. And if you felt that you got value out of this lesson, you can always buy me a coffee. The $5 coffees, you can pay by PayPal or card. There's the details at the bottom of the screen there, or you can click the links in the description. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. Hopefully see you very soon in the next video.